Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I have a surprise to share with you, and if you paid attention to the thumbnail, you already know what the surprise is. And so let's get into this video and talk about the surprise. Okay, I am currently 16 weeks pregnant with baby number 6. And this might be a surprise to some of you, it may not be a surprise to some of you. Our 5th baby was a complete surprise. Okay, this baby is on purpose. But he was a complete surprise, and I'll try to remember to link the video down below of announcing that, because I explain it more in my feelings about our 5th baby and all that kind of stuff. And it was a big struggle. Okay, I'll just give you like a brief synopsis if you're new around here. After the 4th child, I was done. Okay, I had 4 kids in just about 5 years. It was just over 5 years. And that was kind of my plan. I was just over 30 years old, and I was like, this is good. This is where I wanted to be. And then all my kids will kind of grow up together. We'll be in the same stages, all these things. Like, I had it all planned out. It was perfect. And it worked out pretty well. And then it wasn't quite 5 years later. They're 5 years apart. So just over 4 years later, I ended up pregnant. Surprise! And it was not very fun. I was not very happy about it. And, we were using birth control during that time, but we never felt good about like a permanent fix. And so we hadn't done anything like that. And so we ended up with the baby, and obviously we love him. And almost as soon as I found out I was pregnant with him, maybe a month or 2 later, I don't even know, I knew that I was gonna have another baby. I just knew it. Not just so he'd have a friend, that was part of it, and we already were getting all the baby stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I just felt like that's what God wanted me to do. So I'm like, oh great, we're gonna have another one after this. So I feel like that made being pregnant with him even harder, because it was like, okay, I wasn't planning this, and now I have this surprise baby, and now I'm also gonna have another one after that. So they will be about 19 months apart. And that's my oldest 2 are 17 and a half, then 18 and a half, then 2 years. And then we have a 5-year gap between them. So I'm used to having babies really close, and that was like, I'm gonna just turn around and we're gonna have this baby really close. And it did take me a little bit longer for me to get pregnant this time around. And I say that I know so many people have such a hard time, and I have never struggled with getting pregnant, but this one, it took a few months longer. Usually it's 1 or 2 months, and it was 4 this time. But my period was also very still irregular with nursing. And then I was also ovulating weird. So it wasn't until I started testing when I was ovulating, because for my first 4 kids, this might be so much information, maybe you don't even care, but it might be helpful to somebody. My first 4 kids, I would just do the ovulation calculator, just any of them, online. And I'd be like, okay, here's the window, do your thing. We ended up with babies. Okay, and that's what worked. And then obviously we had the surprise baby, and I probably ovulated early with him, because otherwise I wouldn't have ended up pregnant. But then this last cycle, I was ovulating super late, come to find out. And that wasn't obviously working with the ovulation calculator. So anyways, it took a little bit longer for me to get pregnant this time around. And so, I was shooting for between 15 and hopefully 20 months difference. And for me, that's a little easier to plan, just because I usually get pregnant pretty easily. But this one took a little bit longer. So that's kind of where we are at. Pregnant. I'm pregnant over here, and I feel like I am getting bigger faster. And I was just pregnant, so maybe that's why. And I have gained a little bit more weight than I did last time already. And I don't know if I just started a little bit higher than I was, or if I am just gaining a little bit more weight. With my oldest, I gained 40 pounds during that pregnancy, and then with the other 4, is there 4 in between? I'm I can't keep track how many there are. I gained about 20 to 25 pounds. I think I gained just under 20 with my 5th baby. So he was like the least amount that I gained with my babies. But anyway, so I already feel kind of huge, but you know, nobody notices. It's just me that feels huge. And I started feeling sick, like I'm always a little bit nauseous, and I'm still like, I still don't feel great right now. And talking sometimes makes it worse. So if I'm like taking more breaths or swallowing more, it's because I don't throw up, but I'm just nauseous. So I'm just trying not to like gag or anything. So around 5 to 6 weeks, I took notes, so I'd remember everything. So 5 to 6 weeks is when I started to feel a little bit nauseous. And then really between 7 and 8, especially with the exhaustion, like just feeling so tired all the time. And I don't remember ever feeling that with my first 4 kids. And, you know, maybe I don't know, maybe I just wasn't aware of it. I'm not really sure. It wasn't like I was taking naps in the afternoon or anything. I would occasionally, but I remember when I got pregnant with my 5th, I was just like dead. And everyone just says it's because I'm old. I'm older now. So maybe it's because I'm older. I don't know. But yeah, I was tired. I feel like I wasn't as tired this time around though. I still would take some naps, but it was a little bit harder because I have a 1-year-old. And so, you know, sometimes he would nap well and sometimes he wouldn't. And so if I couldn't fall asleep, then I just wouldn't get a nap that day. And some days if my husband was home from work, then I could nap. So it just kind of depended on that. And then I feel like around 9 weeks is when like super nausea kicked in and more food aversions and all that kind of stuff. And I don't necessarily have specific food aversions. It's more just from day to day, it changes, you know, and most of the time just like rice or bread or pasta, like just the plain carbs are the things that will sit okay on my tummy. But other than that, it's hard to know from day to day if I'm gonna want something, you know, like planning dinner, planning meals is hard. I still just make it for my family, but I don't know if I'm going to want to eat it or if it's gonna even sound good or if I'm gonna, you know, the smells, all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of where that is. And usually my nausea lasts for a long time. And it's not horrible, right? It's not like I'm just down in bed or like hyperemesis or anything like that, but it's just kind of constantly there. It's this friend that you wish would just go away that maybe you're sick of and they're annoying you. Yes, that's what it's like. And so I usually, between 15 to 20 weeks, sometimes it will let up, but sometimes it goes all the way to 20. And then you start feeling gross for other reasons after 20 weeks. So it kind of depends. So I still don't feel super great. And something this pregnancy that's been worse, I feel like it gets worse with each child, has been my gag reflex. And like with I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced this, but you know, you get the increase of like saliva and all that kind of stuff. And so everything just kind of makes you gag or nose running. I feel like with every kid, it's kind of stuck around more. Like even after I had the baby, it's like, oh, I just feel stuffier or feel like it's a little bit harder to just breathe or catch my breath normally. And I don't know if it's just because I've had so many kids and, you know, your body gets a little bit messed up and stuff. But so with this one, the gag reflexes have been so much worse, especially the last few weeks. My husband sometimes he thinks I'm gonna die. Not really, but you know, like I'm just coughing and coughing and it sounds like I'm gonna throw up. So far I have not. In the past I have, just from gagging, but this pregnancy I have not. So hopefully that stays the case, but it's just horrible. And the only thing that I found that helps most of the time is mints, just like the little breath mints from the store. And I discovered that my last pregnancy, my first 4 pregnancies, I never like took mints or anything like that. And I used to love gum before I got pregnant with my first child, and then now, like, I just hardly can stand gum at all. It just makes me sick, and like the chewing motion when pregnant is like, ugh, ugh. I can't stand it. And so mints have just helped, and just little mints, not like big chunky ones because those make me sick too, but just little ones usually will help make me not feel so nauseous or feel like I'm gonna gag. But I still gag quite a bit. And you know, my nose is just constantly running, and then you gag and then your nose runs more, and it's just this whole thing. Being pregnant is so much fun, guys. You should all try it. But so, you know, we're doing good. I feel like I've been able to keep up with homeschool better than I thought I was going to be, because last time I just didn't. You know, we were going into summer last time, and so maybe that was part of it and that was helpful. I'm not really sure. But I just also wasn't motivated emotionally. I was having a really hard time with my last pregnancy, but this one has been much better, especially because, you know, it was expected and I was already in a better mindset generally. But even like just reading to my kids has been a little bit easier. I don't read as much because it does start to make me sick and things like that. So anyway, it's been going better than I expected it to go. Okay, so I think I just have a few more things to touch on. So I don't know what you guys wanna know. So if you have questions, either about me and how I'm feeling or my family, put them down in the comments, or just pregnancy in general or labor, delivery, any of those types of things. I've done this a few times, so I can't say that I perfectly know or understand anything, but I can at least try to answer your questions. But I went to the doctor when I was just over 10 weeks. You guys will be seeing this video when I'm like 16 and a half weeks probably. Sorry, I'm trying not to like cough in your face. But so I went to the doctor at 10 weeks. That's about like where I live now. That's when they want to see you. They usually don't see you before unless, you know, there's issues or maybe bleeding and stuff like that. And which is nice. I actually prefer waiting longer to go to the doctor instead of going, I think with my first baby, it was like 8 weeks. And then with all the rest, it's been closer to 10 weeks. And last time it was 12, which was so nice. It made the pregnancy feel like it flew by faster because I didn't start going to the doctor till later. So yeah, I went at 10 weeks. They did an ultrasound. The baby was measuring, you know, with my period and stuff. So everything was looking good there, and yeah, we, you know, all the blood work, everything came back normal. So I'm doing good, and I'm going with the same, I went with a midwife, a certified midwife that's at our hospital, and that's who delivered my last baby, and I loved her so much. She was so great and so very helpful, and that's I'm using her again. Luckily she was available. She didn't have too many deliveries the month that I'm due, August 8th. I didn't even say that, but I'm due August 8th. And so she didn't have too many deliveries that month. So she was still able to take me as well. And she was so amazing. I loved her so much. So the plan is still to have an unmedicated birth with this one. I don't know if I'll be induced, but as far as epidural, no. And so, you know, I guess it depends how people classify unmedicated. But so I'm going with her again, and so excited to be with her. She's just great. I just love her so much. So that's kind of the plan and where we're at. So far I did go in at 14 weeks and everything was still looking good. She did another ultrasound, and I am older now. I'm 36. And so, you know, I'm like the advanced maternal age. So there will probably be a few more ultrasounds and scans and all that kind of stuff. And there was a few more things with my last baby because I turned 35 right at the end of that pregnancy. And that's 35 is now the age for that you're old. Your geriatric pregnancy. So, you know, I'm getting old. So that was that part. So the doctor, everything, that's good. Okay, so then telling our families and telling our kids. We told our parents a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago it's been about a month ago. And that was much later than we normally did. Usually it was like around 7-ish or 8 weeks. But honestly, I was just like, whatever, we'll just wait as long as we can before we tell anybody, and we don't see anybody very much. Like we did have a few events. We had some Christmas activities, and then we did have, what else did we have? Oh, a baptism. My 8-year-old got baptized. So we had a whole bunch of family up here, and so I just pretended that I was fine, which I'm pretty good at doing for a few hours, pretending that I'm okay, and then I just like slept the next 2 days after that because I was so tired from making food and entertaining everyone. But so they never suspected anything at that point. And yeah, then we told them, and they're all, you know, a little shocked, but also excited. So they're like, you're having another one, especially after the last one was a surprise. So many people, even the few friends we've told, they're like, wait, I thought you were totally done after the last one. And I was like, we never said that. And I almost immediately knew that I was gonna have another one, but I also didn't say that to people either. And we were always like, my husband's been telling people we were done after 4. And now we're at number 6, but this is gonna be done. Okay, we're gonna be done for reals. For reals this time. So anyways, family's excited, you know, it's all good and everything. And then our kids, we just barely told like a week ago. We told them on Valentine's Day, and I actually have like a little clip for it. And so I'll insert that here so that you can see their reactions.
Come out. Happy Valentine's Day!
Yay! Festivals! What is this? Yay!
That's a puzzle. The boxes are from Grandma. The Feastables bars are what I got you guys.
Is this locks?
No. Lots is over here.
Aww!
What's that one?
Whose is this? Mom's? Zombie bot?
Whose is this?
Mom's? This was Lockie's x-ray things.
That's Locke's ultrasound?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Doesn't it, the date on here says 2023.
Are we having another baby?
We are having another baby!
We're getting more babies.
This time it better be a girl.
Lydia, we're having another baby.
Yay! It might be a girl. Chocolate sea salt?
I want my toy, that's all I care about.
Baby!
Locke! We're having another baby!
He's 1 year old. He's barely 1 year old, and he's going to have, and he isn't going to be the youngest kid.
Crabbot? When are you going to have Beaky bot?
When are we? Thank you, Lydia, for asking an important question. When is the baby coming? The baby is coming in August.
August?
Yeah.
Next year?
No, this year.
Wooly Pooly bot?
Oh,
Math,
so
math.
we're going to finally have a fall birthday. No, it's a summer birthday, right?
Yeah, it's right on that edge.
Okay, so they were very excited. It was fun. They were also distracted, right? Because they had just gotten a few Valentine's gifts from Grandma, and my husband had given them some chocolate. And so some of them were a little distracted, but they were also very excited that we're having another baby, more so than last time. You know, last time I don't think they understood exactly what it meant. And so now they've been through the process, and, you know, obviously they've been through the process a lot, especially my oldest, but they were also little. They just didn't even know. But our last baby, they were old enough to kind of be more aware of what was happening. And so they were very, very excited. Very, very excited. And they, you know, they know the gender now, but they did not at that time. And I'll have a whole nother video where I do that, like a gender reveal, because my husband had planned something for them. And then probably another update. I'll probably include that all with another updated video and stuff like that next time I go to the doctor. But it was really fun for them. And they're all very, very excited. And so now it's kind of nice because I'm like, oh, we can talk about things, you know, before it was like me and my husband speaking in code or like me hiding, like going into his office and being like, okay, you know, and like whispering to him. But now we don't have to be like that because they know already. And so it's nice. And yeah, they didn't suspect anything. I know a lot of people ask, like, didn't your kids wonder why you weren't feeling well? Maybe if I had been throwing up, it might have been different. But since I was mostly just a little bit tired and, you know, was able to function through my nausea most of the morning, and then they have the afternoon usually if their schoolwork is done to kind of do whatever they want to, and they have a little bit of screen time and all that kind of stuff. So I think they just didn't pay attention. You know, they're kids and they're still very much unaware, and they're young enough that they just don't pay attention to those sort of things. Like, mom doesn't feel good. No, they don't notice. They don't notice how I feel, okay? Story of being a mom. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think that's all I had to share with you today. I just wanted to let y'all know, let you know what's going on. We'll see if my videos pick up. It's been a little bit harder to film when I don't feel well. You know, I was so tired in the afternoon, so I was usually filming Saturday mornings. And I think I could probably start going back to filming a little bit in the afternoon when the baby's sleeping and stuff like that. But it was hard for me. I just didn't have a whole lot of time to film when I actually felt well enough to do it. So we'll see. But if you have any videos you'd like to see, with coming into springtime, you know, we're gonna do curriculum videos, you know, in a few months and all that kind of stuff. But if there's anything you would be interested in seeing, please comment it down below and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for us. Remember that thumbs up, and I will see you next time.